Welcome back. It is 6:17. Most computer users are familiar with the Windows Update reminders that pop up every once in a while, but many may not realize that ignoring those updates and saying remind me later like I do can be risky. Dan Thompson from Claris Networks is here with us this morning. He joins us regularly to talk about some of these things. Good to see you, Dan.
Thanks.
All right. Why should we be concerned about these updates coming up and whether or not we do them or not?
That's a great question. You know, I get asked this commonly. It's like, these updates, they're kind of annoying. Why should I even bother doing them? You know, and it's something that not a lot of people invest the time to explain why we should do that. So, you know, obviously that's what we're talking about this morning. Let me just jump into the abstract real quick, and let's build an example that I think people can relate to, and then we'll come back to the specifics here in a second. So let's say that you just bought a new house with your family. You're having a housewarming party. You got people's over. They're enjoying themselves. One of your friends comes up to you and says, "Hey, man, I just noticed that one of your windows is unlocked. Why don't you go lock it?" So obviously that represents a security problem for you in your home, right? So you obviously go lock it. Well, the house analogy is a good example of your computer. When software companies like Microsoft or Adobe or whoever release these patch updates, it's the equivalent of your friend coming to you and saying, "Hey, you've got a window unlocked, you might want to fix that," right? So it's a security problem, and they're going to help us fix it. Now, these updates can be a little bit of a double-edged sword, and what I mean by that is when Microsoft is releasing these patches, not only do we get these patches, but also the bad guys get them. And it's a common trend for the bad guys to take these patches, reverse engineer them, figure out what it was they fixed, and then write some bad code trying to exploit that. And then they'll cast a broad net, hoping that you haven't done your updates. So back to our analogy, that would be the equivalent of, say, the mayor of Knoxville coming on here to the WBIR morning show and saying, "Hey guys, there's this neighborhood in West Knoxville. It's over off of Westland Drive. Every one of the houses in the neighborhood has a window unlocked, and not only do they have a window unlocked, it just so happens to be the one just to the left of the front door." Now, you can imagine if he said that on the morning show, we'd have some havoc going on in West Knoxville by noon, right? So that really should underscore the importance to us of why we should do these, and that we need to do them quickly, because if there is not a virus out yet, there will be in the very near future.
And so that is part of the problem. If we just ignore it, we can get viruses, or what else can happen?
Absolutely. This is these exploits and things like that these patches are fixing are how hackers get into our computers. It's these vulnerabilities, these little holes in the operating system or the software. That's what it is that they're exploiting to actually get into our computers and do bad things.
All right. And how can we make sure our systems are fully up to date?
Sure, and it's actually very easy, which is the good thing, right? So if you're using Windows, if you just hit the little start button, your start menu pops up. You'll notice on there it says Windows Updates. Can't get any easier than that, right? So you click that on that web page. It will describe to you how you can set those things to run automatically, and that's what I recommend for most home users. Just let those things run. It'll take care of itself, and then that's something you don't have to think about. Now, Windows is obviously not the only software program out there that has these problems. So things like Adobe Reader, Adobe Flash, we've seen exploits for those in the past month that were very serious. And what you'll see is a little bubble pop up next to your clock, and it says, "Hey, Adobe's got some updates you want to download." And we've almost kind of trained ourselves that anything that pops up on our screen, we just close it and say, "Don't bother me," right? Some of these are actually important, and we need to pay attention to them.
All right. Always good information, Dan. Thanks very much, and we will see you soon.
All right, thank you.
Have a great day. Let's go over to Julia now and get a check of today's forecast. Good morning, Julia.
Hey, well, today...